What you're speaking about right now is really the reason I wrote this book. It's not necessarily, I'm a big kveller. I'm an excited, enthusiastic, that's my nature. That's the kind of person I am. But it's to remind people, and all people, to speak up or wave a hand or tap a shoulder or spring a smile if you think something's good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And don't hold back.
Yeah.
Don't quell it.
Mm-hmm.
Kvell it.
That was world champion endurance athlete, sports psychologist, and author Barbara Edelston-Peterson. Our conversation was inspired by the song Black and White Photo, which itself was inspired by Psalm 78. I'm Shep Rosenman. This is The Rest is Commentary, where we discuss what songs inspired by the Psalms or Tehillim inspire in my guests. Barbara is a distinguished sports psychologist, motivational speaker, author, and 10-time Xterra age group world champion in off-road triathlon. Based in Santa Barbara, California, she founded the Whole Champion Foundation to inspire personal, social, and environmental responsibility. She just celebrated the 1-year anniversary of the release of her book, Kvell, A Word You Should Know. Barbara's work brings together grit, joy, and a uniquely Jewish take on kvelling. The Yiddish word kvell means to be unabashedly excited for or about another person. And through her book, Barbara seeks to turn that into a universal practice of celebrating others' achievements. You can find out more about Barbara by going to her website, Barbara Edelston, Edelston, Peterson, Peterson.com. And if you want to check out her book there, you /Kvell, Kvell, where you can also order the book or you can buy it on Amazon or Barnes & Noble. In this episode, we discuss how passion, authenticity, and resilience shape a meaningful life, the impact of sports and other accomplishments on life philosophy, honing vulnerability and authenticity, how injury can be a transformative experience that creates opportunities, embracing imperfections and starting anew, and of course, the importance of kvelling, and so much more. Let's start off by listening to Black and White Photo, in which I kvell about our daughter, Maya.
Black and white photo on our kitchen wall of a 1940s model. She wore cat eye glasses, had beautiful lips, and over her shoulders wore a floral kerchief. This photo, they ask me if it's you. I try to tease them for a few. It could be, I say, and then my smile gives it away. My daughter's just like my mother in so many ways. My mother's face, my mother's style, my mother's wisdom and grace, her kindness and her smile. She wore a sable jacket, but yours is vegan fur. Each view and part about the glamour. She preferred Rome for her slippers. You prefer your Uggs. She preferred to hold our hands. You tolerate our hugs. You've got her face. You've got her style. Yeah, her wisdom and grace, her kindness and her smile. So many ways that you're alike. So many ways that you strike out on your own. You already portray the fierceness of your mom. Your kids like you would be the bomb. Your world will change just like you changed ours. When you snuggle your kids, you'll
Hi, Barbara. I'm so glad you made the schlep out here from Santa Barbara to Los Angeles. Thank you so much for coming here.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. And it wasn't quite as bad a schlep as it could have been. So we're all here and we're great.
Good. So I want to start this off the way I start these podcasts off generally, and it's to ask you the question about inspiration, which of course ties back to so much of your life. In the same way that the psalmist was inspired to write this particular psalm, which is Psalm 78, I was inspired to write this song using Psalm 78 as a reference. It also came up actually in the context of a Shanna in a Dress challenge, who is always inspiring. And my hope through all songs is that the songs inspire something in the listener, in the reader, if they're reading lyrics. So what, if anything, did this song inspire in you?
Oh, I just appreciated the specific detail and the excitement about a style, a color, a poise, and your sense about your observations. I loved so much in the smallest of details. What came through in the song to me was your excitement and love and the sense of beauty and softness and, if you will, inspiration.
Well, so look, as we sit here today, I see that you have this incredible sense of style. Your glasses, your dress, the necklaces, it's all, you're so well appointed. Here I am in my jeans and a polo shirt. Where did you acquire that? Was that a natural inclination? Was it learned?
So style, aesthetic, again, inspiration, beauty is something I simply love. It's natural. I am the jewelry designer.
Right.
And on my business card, it says natural beauty on the very bottom, natural beauty, and then empowerment. And I also, as a psychologist, Shep, have a whole thing about presenting oneself. And for me, I love energy. I love color. I love sensibility. And there's another angle to this, if you don't mind me sharing and being open, is that most people with my big smile and my energy wouldn't really know that I lack in confidence in certain areas.
Never in a million years would I have guessed that. First of all, I want to connect the dots here because you've talked about your jewelry designer self, your psychologist self. You're also an author and you are a competitive athlete. Is all of this movement towards accomplishment connected to that?
Absolutely. It absolutely is. And I would be neglectful if I didn't say, yes, there's a compulsion and there's a drive and there's let's say neurosis about aspiration. And I could go into some other things. I'm an identical twin. And when we've been interviewed before about our athletic accomplishments, she says, it's when we're interviewed separately, she would say we were bred to be athletes. And I basically just go, oh, and I roll my eyes because in truth, it's our coping mechanism from living in a dysfunctional family. And the two of us are birds of a feather. The identicals are absolutely identical. And we resisted a lot of what went on.
Interesting.
So we have drive.
As kids, were you athletic?
Very much so.
So that was part of building the drive. But when you say you resisted what was going on, it was the dysfunction.
Yes. And I can promise you the drive went into hyper gear. We were just naturally athletic and outdoorsy, but both of us now, a huge ribbon in our rainbow of who we are is intensely competitive sport. And we're both going to be 70 and we still compete and we are we win.
Yeah.
We generally win because we work hard.
Do you compete together? Or do you compete
Never.
against each other?
We never compete together.
What
or
are her
against
sports
each other.
versus yours?
So we're both what we call extreme endurance athletes. And my sister does Ironman and ultra running.
Mm-hmm.
And I do off-road triathlon, which is mountain bike, open water swim, mountain bike, and trail running. And I also do open water, like ultra swimming.
Was that an intentional choice between the two of you? I'll take these if you take those?
No,
or
not
you
really.
Just gravitated
we
to
just
these
gravitated,
sports?
And I'm, as one of the pioneers of the sport of mountain biking, it's actually my sister, and I wrote an article all about this. She said, Barb, you should do Xterra. And I said, what's Xterra? And so it's swim, mountain bike, and trail running.
Right. Oh, amazing. So you met Leah on the way in.
Yes.
Leah's husband, Ivan, was a triathlete. He competed in Ironmans and half Ironmans, and every morning it was this or that or two of this or that. And
exactly.
He tried to get me to participate in that. I'm like, I'm going to learn Mishnayos on Sunday morning. I'm out. Not that I don't love sports, by the way. And for me, I went through a little bit of mourning, MOU.
Yes.
In that, I'm obviously, I mourned Ivan's death. I still mourn Ivan's death. I'm still writing songs about it. But, from the sublime to the ridiculous, I grew up playing basketball in 6th grade. Shelley Rokach, may he rest in peace. I don't think he recognized talent, but he recognized that I grew 6 inches over the summer and said, you're going to be a big man. In the Jewish world, in the rest of the world, I'd be a guard. I'm going to teach you how to be a big man, because he was a big man, so you play center and you get in the lane and you just use your body. And I played basketball from 6th grade until Eitan was 2 or 3, maybe 4. And in the years before that, I was playing at Uni High on Thursday nights and somewhere else that I don't remember on Tuesday nights. And then on Sundays, I would play in the Jewish League. And at first we played in the A-League and we were winning, and then we stopped winning because we were getting older. And one of my friends said, why don't we try the B-League? And we moved to the B-League, and then I started coming home with injuries.
Oh.
And I feel, as I'm telling the story, I feel like I've talked about this on the podcast before. It's because nothing against amateur sports people, but when you're coached, you learn how to use your body in a particular way that, I'm not saying you don't get injured, but you get injured less in a competitive game like basketball.
Yes.
And eventually, when I was coming home every week with a different injury, Shari said to me, this has got to stop. I said, I'll be more careful. I started not going into the lane. I was shooting from the outside. Eventually, I came home with someone having cracked me on the head with their elbow, just because, he didn't know. He wanted to get the rebound. I don't blame the guy, but I was like, Genug Shine, I'm done. And then I stopped working out because I was in deep mourning over this loss of athleticism.
Interesting.
But I'm back now. I love running. I love swimming. I love biking. I've never done the extreme versions of any of that, even though we have a very close family who does ultra running, a woman named Janet Gustman. And I've run with her and her sister, may she rest in peace, Kim Simon, and a variety of other people. And I love endorphins that you get out of it. And for me, I take a lot of classes, and for me, tying this back to what you were saying, I like the classes because I will choose the instructors, the coaches who are going to push me. And then, once I understand their level, it's a question of meet or exceed. Whereas when I first started getting back into this, it was like, okay, I'm going to watch Netflix and go on the treadmill as slowly as possible. And my doctor told me I had to really get serious about working out. And anyway, whatever. I've droned on enough about this. I want to ask you a question. So you talked about accomplishment as a neurosis, a compulsion, and a drive towards aspiration. That last word really surprised me because you're not aspiring to do something, you're doing it.
Yes, but you have to rise up, and elevate your standard. And for me, I just felt compelled. Kind of wish I hadn't used the word neurosis, but there is a compulsion. But I am a Jewish woman, and I'm definitely neurotic about sitting here and making sure my necklaces are just right.
Perfect.
Just kidding, honestly, but not at all kidding. So I've not ever used the word neurosis, but aspiration is a little different than inspiration. So I was inspired to aspire and reaching and having a very high level goal to me is the aspiration.
Right.
And I'll just say that it's really changed over the years. I don't have the drive. Okay, a couple of things. I don't have the drive that I've known to have, and I have felt. I have drive, but not to kill myself athletically and just exhaust myself because it is a lot of exertion. I have such another comfort level with being Barbara. And in being Barbara, I'll exercise every day, no matter what. Whatever it takes, I will go out there. And I know that people in Santa Barbara notice, oh, she's on her bike.
Well, they named the city after you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But I cannot wait. There's so many days when I'm swimming my laps and in heaven, I call it lap nirvana. But I cannot wait to get back to my work on Kvell or my nonprofit or just to get those tasks going and moving and succeeding.
Right.
So it's really a pleasure to have a variety of different drives and passions.
Does that add to your Kvellness?
Absolutely.
Okay. So let's talk about this. What inspired you to, look, I've read your books or some of your books. I didn't read the one about recovering, being in bed for months at a time. But I didn't see that until after I read the two that you shared with me. But you talk about some of that. So talk to us. For those who don't know you, tell us the story of your journey into Kvell.
Okay. Well, and it's all in the book for sure. I grew up in this highly enthusiastic, high energy family, for better or for worse. But the best part, and it's very much written about in the book, is the kvelling. Our parents were their 3 daughters cheerleaders, and it was kvelling outwardly and energetically. Traditionally, kvelling, as we know, is a bubbling over inside a Jewish home between grandparents or parents and children or grandchildren. And in our household, my dad would whistle and wave his arms and smile and hug us, just letting us know we've done well. And therefore, we didn't doubt all sorts of next steps in growing up.
Sure.
The 3 daughters, the 3 sisters, we've gone on to dramatically different lives, and our paths have been very different. But, I just went through my life thinking, oh, I like that. Oh, I like that a lot. And I'm going to do really well, whether it be sport, playing the flute, weaving. I was a huge knitter and weaver and kind of a designer. And later on, that turned into jewelry, thanks to both my daughters, who we used to bead pasta and wooden beads. And I was like, I might be able to make something really nice for myself. So I went out and bought beads, and it was a disaster until I really couldn't get it. And then I made some other things, and people were like, oh my God, where did you get that necklace? I love it. Oh, I made it. oh, can you make one for me? Yes, but you have to buy the materials because I went after some nice things. Anyway, the Kvell always stayed with me. I was conscious about kvelling over other people in other aspects of life. And I'll never forget, it was 1999 and I was talking to the publisher of one of my other books. I know just where we were in Berkeley at Tomate Cafe. And I said, Brenda, at some point I have to write about Kvell. It's just too important. And nobody knows this word. And my working title in my body, in my head, was the best word in the whole world that nobody knows. But then I realized it's a word, but it's a practice. And I really cannot wait to write this book. And so I'll continue here, which is to say that when I would travel for my Xterras, which I did all over the world, I planned in certain places to stay for 10 days or 2 weeks to write. So I would compete, and then there was a lot of rest.
Sure.
Or some rest after that output. And I wrote and I spun my wheels, let's say. There was a lot of spinning. It took 25 years to get this book right.
Wow.
And I'm so proud to say
You're
there's
kvelling.
not an ounce of AI in this book. It's all Barbara, and there was a lot of, oh no, that's not okay. Oh, I don't really, no. And then I had a whole chapter on anti-kvelling, and I took that out because this book is about Kvell. We do mention kvetch.
Okay.
But we're not going into the people who anti-kvelled me.
Yeah.
And that's not another book. That's a pretty heavy notion.
Right, but it's something that you had to work through in order to get to the kvelling.
Yes, I liked what you just said.
So let me ask you this. Obviously, Kvell is an important value of yours. So you Kvell about your kids. I'm going to give you a moment. Kvell about your daughters.
Oh, I love to Kvell about my daughters. My daughters are the loves of my life. I never thought I would be married because I had that insecurity and such. And I married a prince of a guy.
Can you give us names?
Yes, Peterson. He was Swedish. When we first went back east to meet my parents, I said to my dad, I just got to warn you. He looks a little like Nazi youth. And my dad said, wait, but you told me he was Swedish. And I said, yes, he's Swedish. Well, the Swedes were very good to the Jews. It took the weight of the world off my shoulders. Anyway, such a lovely, poised, reserved individual. And then we had our daughters. We just had such a very nice family. And
what are their names?
Hillary is the oldest, and Forrest is the youngest. They're very close. We're all very close, although my husband and I are divorced, but it's very amicable, and we check in and we do family things. And by the way we handled our divorce was, if you ask me, it was award-winning. We were very loving and caring and careful with our daughters, but they were in their 20s.
Right.
So it was.
Well, don't,
okay.
You don't need to butt that, right?
And they were in their 20s, and there were tears, and it's a happy thing. And I guess what I'm trying to say is I really Kvell over Peterson and Barbara for agreeing to be amicable and poised, kind, and making sure our daughters were fine, were okay. And they absolutely were, and they are. My daughters are very special. They're beauties. But what I love and Kvell over is the beauty within. It's exceptional. And there isn't anyone else in my life, wherever I have been and wherever I go, who doesn't Kvell over these girls.
Sure. So there's a beautiful rabbinic aphorism. It says that a person should be toho kiboro, which means their inside needs to be like their outer wrapping. You can't behave falsely. And if you're beautiful on the outside, be beautiful on the inside. If you're beautiful on the inside, you're going to be beautiful on the outside, regardless of what you look like, because your beauty is going to shine through. And that's another way of, to me, manifesting this sense of kvell, this gushing up that comes when you talk, like when you talk about your daughters, when I talk about my daughter, and I talk about my son who's playing at the Mint Saturday night. This is going to be published long after he's played, but he's releasing a new album, and like we're kvelling over.
Oh, I'm kvelling, listening.
Come to the Mint.
I'd like to.
10 to 10. Saturday night, right here.
Because I will be in Santa Monica at a wonderful book reading.
Fabulous.
So I think I'm
awesome. That's great.
going to take that kvelling and listening to this and see
I'll send you the Partiful invitation when my phone is available again. So, like, we kvell over our kids. I kvell over my wife, too, the same way you do over Dixon. We friend hard. I kvell over our friends and our friends' kids.
Oh, I've never heard that expression.
Friending hard?
Never. I love it.
Like right behind you, that's my friend since we were 18 or 19. And his niece, and these kids are like their kids. They're like our kids. These are our chosen family, and these are all people we kvell over. And I have all these musician friends. You know, Alicia Jo Rabins is about to put out her new book, which I can't wait to read. Joe Buchanan just released a new album, and Chava Morel is releasing songs all the time, Naomi Less, and on and on. And I'm so thrilled for these accomplishments.
Oh, yes.
And I think that sense of excitement for others, for those who listen to the podcast all the time, you've heard me talk about this before. There's a machlokes, a disagreement between Rebbe Eliezer and the other chachamim, the sages, over the ritual status of an oven, the oven of kovno or achnai in Aramaic. And Rebbe Eliezer is arguing for his position, and he says, if I'm right, let the walls of the Beit Midrash cave in just a little bit so nobody gets hurt. Speaking of kvelling, I know I'm digressing here, but I have this Aura frame, AURA, that keeps like changing photos, and my parents keep coming up, so they're kvelling. That's a picture that's not actually what they looked like. That's them on the set of A Stranger Among Us, where they were kvelling over my brother as the producer, and the beautiful woman in the background is Bryna Zucker. It's one of my favorite photos of them.
I should say, that's so funny that this came up.
And by the way, you know who else keeps coming up? Ivan and these very close friends. Of course, it's a very limited sample because it's all my friends and family. So where was I? Rebbe Eliezer says, let the walls of the Beit Midrash collapse in a little bit. And the rabbis say, no, that's not the law. Rebbe Eliezer says, let the river go backwards. And I may be getting the order wrong. And the rabbis say, no, if I'm right, let a tree grow in this spot. The rabbis say, no. Like, even though all these miracles are happening, and the rabbis are basically saying, lo b'shamayim hi. The law is not in heaven anymore. The Torah is down here on earth. It's up to us to actualize and to manifest that type of aspiration you were talking about. How does God respond? God laughs and says, nitzchuni banai. You have surpassed me. You've been victorious over me.
What do you love so much about this story? Because maybe what's it teaching?
Well, for me, it teaches so many different things. Miracles, on the one hand, miracles don't matter, right? We're coming up to Purim. It'll be a miracle if I learn my laning by Monday night. But there are no miracles in the book. God is not present. God's name is not mentioned in the book once.
Are you talking about this book?
No, I'm talking about the book of Esther.
Yes, okay.
Right?
Sorry.
No, that's okay. God's kvelling, I promise. Well, that must be it. Okay, that's the connection.
Okay.
So I'll get there. So miracles don't matter. What matters is the efforts the humans put into it to wrestle with God, to engage with the divine and to engage with their understanding of what it is that God is asking us to do. Now, I'm not a halachic person anymore. I grew up that way. I was that way for a long time. I believe in the importance of Jewish law and following and observing it. But I don't believe that you have to observe every jot and tittle the way my Haredi ultra-Orthodox sister does. We have very different relationships to halacha. For me, the most important thing is to study it and to take the learnings from it. So for me, when I study Gemara, I'm looking for the values that the rabbis are trying to press. And this will bring us back to connectivity. You know, it says, I think it's 36 times in the Torah, thou shalt not oppress the stranger, right? So what's the importance there? Well, you have to find a way to connect with the other. And the other is not only, quote, your enemy, it's just someone who feels uncomfortable. If they're insecure, make them feel comfortable. You know, you see someone at a party who's standing in the back with their arms folded, looking small, go over and bring them to the middle of the dance floor.
Yeah, it's amazing. That is so beautiful to listen to hear this and to understand it in terms of connection and the power of feeling connection versus disconnection, or feeling that we belong because somebody notices us. It's not even just kvelling is so exciting, and there's a lot about celebration and excitement, affirmation, but part of the power of kvelling is the connection, and it can save a life.
Yeah. Oh, 1,000%.
And that's, when I first set out to write this book, I didn't know all the things I've learned as a result of writing this book and the real breadth of importance and possibility because of Kvell. It's I think it's one of the most important practices that could ever make its way to humankind. And I'm so proud of this book and excited to connect people to it, but to bring people to that understanding. My hope is that Kvell becomes a household word, but a universal practice.
So I want to, while you were chatting, I was looking up the etymology. Kvell is the anglicized version of the Yiddish. It's because the Yiddish is kvellen, and the Yiddish garnered the Middle German quellen. I mean, I don't know how you pronounce it.
Quellen.
Right. So do you speak German?
I do.
Oh, wow. How did that happen?
That happened through sport.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I raced and traveled to Deutschland and Österreich and Schweiz so viel, means so much, and everyone spoke English, and I did not want to be the lazy American.
Good for you.
It was very interesting learning German because being Jewish, it felt like, one, it was fun, and it felt like it closed a gap in the circle of life. I can't tell you how meaningful speaking German is to me. And it's odd. It's also,
was your family in the Shoah, or were you here already?
9. I'm speaking German. 9. No, überhaupt nicht. Not at all. I mean, probably, but no one directly. But I'm just going to add, in terms of the word Kvell, there's the best water ever in Austria and Germany and parts of Switzerland that's called Kvell. And it comes from gushing water.
Sure.
Fresh water. And
right. But so the reason I'm raising it is because the English word quell means exactly the opposite. It's to suppress.
Exactly.
Right? So
that's
for
right.
Americans, we have to kind of like there's a move there to go from suppressing to allowing. I mean, quell also, I think, means source. Yeah, spring, source, fountain, die Quelle. We have to suppress the impulse to suppress and invite the impulse to source, to connect with source. And I think, when we think of kvelling, we think of gushing but it can also be like a gentle leak, right? It doesn't have to be a springing fountain. It could be, oh my God, you're so sweet, right? Or whatever.
What you're speaking about right now is really the reason I wrote this book. It's not necessarily, I'm a big kveller, I'm an excited, enthusiastic, that's my nature. That's the kind of person I am. But it's to remind people and all people to speak up or wave a hand or tap a shoulder or spring a smile if you think something's good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And don't hold back.
Yeah.
Don't quell it.
Mm-hmm.
Kvell it.
Well, I love that. And it also makes me think of this. I think that we have a new theme song for you if you haven't found it already. It has to be For She's a Jolly Good Kveller.
Oh, I'm glad you didn't say Jimmy Crackhorn or something. But, when we first spoke, you said, well, what song? And I was like, oh my goodness, I know what song, but that's like not the caliber of Shep Rosenman. My song was the James Taylor song.
Sure.
Shower the people you love with love. And I get the chills. And yes, we're talking about kvelling and how wonderful it is, but we're also talking about, keep it simple. Just don't hold it in.
Mm-hmm.
Like anybody can say something when they see good or feel good.
Sure.
The good.
Do your daughters have children?
My oldest daughter.
Okay.
I'm a new grandma.
Congratulations.
I'm a new nana.
So obviously you're kvelling.
Oh, yeah.
So your oldest daughter's Hillary, right?
Correct.
So has she adopted this kvelling theology mentality?
Adopting their mom's way.
Mm-hmm,
like they don't really know better, but they kvell.
Right.
The nature of what each of them do, but especially now with Hillary, she's kvelling.
Okay, so it's that natural, it's the same thing as you were raised with this drive to compete. It was born in you, whether it was a natural thing or it was inculcated in you and you absorbed it. It doesn't really matter. It's the same result.
You're not kidding.
No, not at all.
I mean, yes.
You mentioned lap nirvana.
I just knew you were going to pick up on that.
Talk to us about that.
Okay. Nirvana. I mean, I know you're extremely spiritual. I also have a master's in Eastern philosophy, and I could sometimes swim laps, or I do open water swimming too. I could swim and swim and swim and swim. I'm lost in the movement, the flow, where my mind goes. I know my body's getting stronger.
Mm-hmm.
It's an endless joy. And when I say lap nirvana, to me, it means like, you go, girl. You just have a good time. There aren't that many people who would want to swim lap after lap after lap. And people say, oh, I'm so bored. It's like, I'm never bored.
Are you focused on technique? Or are you letting your mind go and your body do its own thing?
I'm so not focused on technique. I'm very focused on an open mind. It's in the background of every single lap. I'm counting. But it's a trained thing. I just go 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2. In the meantime, there's a fantastic song in my brain. It's loud.
Not headphones.
No.
In your brain.
It's just in my brain. And I am thinking all sorts of thoughts. And big thoughts. It's really special.
Do you let them come to you, or do you say, like, are you intentional about it? I want to think about X today.
I would say both. And I will also share that in writing the various books, whenever we're moving, whenever any human being is moving and staying with it and left, right, or just ideas come forth. It's just the nature of how the brain and the body work, basically. I used to have a piece of paper by the side of the pool so I just could let go,
Mm-hmm.
have the thought and love the
Right.
thought and record the thought with a pencil because a pen, it won't work if the paper gets wet.
Sure.
I generally think about problems and worry. And then if I get worrying too much, I then say, stop it now. Let's think about your girls.
Mm-hmm.
And then I go into
Moving
like
to
this
kvelling.
wonderful kvelling over my girls, or I think about like what I want to make for dinner, or I think about relationships,
Mm-hmm.
some that are challenging, some that are so special. I really freeform it
Mm-hmm.
for the
Mm-hmm.
most part.
Right. Yeah. Oh, look, that
But
makes
both.
perfect sense.
But actually both.
You talk specifically about lap nirvana.
Yes.
In Xterra, there are no laps. Do you get to that same headspace, or because of the danger, you're much more
Well,
in the moment?
It couldn't be more different, Shep.
Say more.
It just, the second the gun goes off, it is focus, fierce laser beam focus on not taking my eye off the prize till I get to the finish line. And that's not to say I don't notice when I get tired. When I first start swimming, because it's swim, bike, run,
Mm-hmm.
I go like, wait, why did I think I could do this? And then it's like, no. Yes, I can.
Mm-hmm.
It's a mantra. And it's, yes, I can. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Literally a million times
Mm-hmm.
throughout the entire race. I don't let any negatives come in. So it's the absolute opposite of lap
Mm-hmm.
nirvana. And if I have trouble, like in the transition from the bike to the run, because I've been on the bike for 2.5, possibly 3 hours, depending on the course and the weather and everything, it's not a pretty picture. I'm feeling exhausted or my body is like stuck in a certain painful position. I say to myself, I love this. I love this. I love this. But it's always to gear up.
Mm-hmm.
So that I'm better and better and stronger and happier and happier.
Right. Sounds like you get out of your head except for empowerment mantras.
100%.
Is there so obviously when you're in the water, and if it's an open swim in the ocean, there's a danger component, but when you're on the side of a mountain or you're doing when you're in the bike rides, right? You're not on a lap course. It's not flat. So there's a different type of danger. Are you more focused on the danger component in either setting? Because like the run, like.
No, I'll tell you, I just have to interrupt. I have to go full force here.
Please.
So it's positive mantras, empowering. And then there is fear. Like mostly it's ocean.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
I mean, depending on the location, like in Cape Town, outside of Cape Town in South Africa, it was a big lake. And I couldn't help but think about, are there snakes in this lake? In Glacier, way up, like near inland from Nice in France once, it was the coldest lake. And I couldn't help but think about freezing to death, even though I was with wetsuit and
Sure.
I think 3 swim caps on and everything. So the swim, there's always a danger. Once at World Championships in Maui, it's a whole other story in itself. But in 2018, the ocean went rogue and we came into 20-foot beach breakers and I almost didn't make it. So that's a whole nother story. But then another time in Maui at another World Championships, I hit something so hard with my hand and I thought it was another athlete. And I was like, oh, you asshole. And it was like, oh my God, it was the biggest turtle you've ever seen.
Wow.
And that's good luck. So I went like sky high kind of thing. But I was like, oh, that really hurt. And then with the bike, it is so technical. And if it's muddy and there are roots and there are drop-offs, or if I can't get my foot out of, I'm clipped in the pedal, it's endless fear.
Sure.
But I'm still, yes, I can. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. But it's like a kind of focus that that's not what happens in an Ironman
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing. It's a very rugged, different sport than anything I've ever known. And then on the run, there are times when, again, there are roots and there's obstacles.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole time it's fierce focus. And as you put it, I usually say positive mantras, but I liked how you said empowerment
mantras.
mantras.
Yeah. Okay, so first of all, I want to mention this because an important part of your journey that we haven't talked about, even though it's negative, is your injury.
Mm.
You built empowerment out of this very intense injury. Can you talk about, first of all, briefly explain what happened for those who haven't read the book, and then tell us how you turned, going to go back to Purim. Purim, one of the core constructs in Purim is v'nahafochu. We turned it around. We go from yagon l'simcha, from distress to joy, from me'afela le'ora, from darkness to light. And you clearly have done that. So talk to us about that transition, and feel free to kvell about it.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Shep. I actually have the chills, like literally from the top of my head down right now. So what happened was I was about to leave for Xterra European Championships in Switzerland, and the bike was in the hallway. The airport shuttle was coming at 3 a.m. And I was just before going to bed. I was like, oh, I know the race director would love this one cap that at that time I was a Cliff Bar. I was sponsored by Cliff Bar, and it was a Cliff Bar like cycling cap or something. I was like, oh, I know where it is. It's way up in our open beam closet. And when somebody, well, I think moms or women or whatever, when there's something we want to find or get and we know where it might be, we nothing will stop us.
Right.
Kind of thing. So I shimmied up these bookshelves, or kind of like shirt shelves or whatever, in our closet, got to the highest point, stuck my hand inside a paper bag where I shoved things in and stuck it up there for storage, got the cap. It was like, yes, I got it. Suddenly I lost my footing and I went down like 14, 15 feet to the ground. I've never experienced pain like that. And
you fell on your heels.
I fell, like it was called a perfect parachuter's fall, where they both feet hit at the same time. There was enough time. I saw a stepladder, and I thought to myself, if that stepladder, if I hit it with my ribs, maybe I'll die, because the ribs and then the heart or the lungs. So I like shifted myself forward, landed on both feet, and the result was bilateral heel fractures. And so I spent a lot of time, my world changed dramatically like that. And what happened, just in sort of a long story short, to answer your question, I had an epiphany in the wheelchair, and
during your recovery.
In my recovery. And by the way, I thought I was going. I stuck my feet that night in a tub of ice water, and I was pretty sure I was going at 3 in the morning
to compete. Okay.
Yeah. But at one point, in bed, I had to go to the bathroom. When I went to go to the bathroom, I couldn't walk. There were no feet. They were little rubbles of stones or something. That's what it felt like. And I think I say that in the book. I realized it was such a dramatic moment that I was living in a bubble, and it was this self-absorbed, exclusive Barbara bubble. And my girls were in that bubble too, because they were elite athletes, and as the mom caring about Barbara and then Hillary and Forrest, it was our worries, our challenges were flights, weather, equipment, just were we fit enough? Were we in shape? And they didn't know they were living in this bubble, but I was the mom and I managed our life, and we were all kind of, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree kind of thing. Anyway, I realized, oh my God, basically a tidal wave of shame came over me, and it was like, Barbara, this is not okay. Our world has so many challenges. No one can be this self-centered. And you have got to change. And basically it was, how fast can I change? And I basically said to myself, I want to be a champion in sport, but I want to be a champion of humanity. I want to be a champion of the environment. I want to be a whole champion. And so that's when I created the nonprofit Whole Champion Foundation. And what it boiled down was my first book,
which is called?
For the nonprofit, not my first book, but representing my new thoughts, was a whole person makes the whole world better.
Right.
And then soon thereafter, I realized I had to write a book entitled A Whole Athlete Makes the Whole World Better.
Right.
And then it could go on like Chicken Soup for the Soul,
Sure.
Whole School Makes the Whole World Better, blah, blah, blah. But now I'm doing films showing how you impact real positive change, how it's done.
I didn't know about the films.
It's all new, and it is so exciting.
Wow.
But
Are
yes,
you directing them?
Yes, I'm the executive producer.
Amazing.
And I'm directing them, and they're very innovative. And they're docuseries because people don't have time to watch films.
Like YouTube?
It will be.
Amazing. I can't wait to see them.
I really cannot wait to get these out because they're very important for a better world.
Yeah.
And Kvell, everyone says, oh, it's Kvell under the nonprofit because Kvell is also for a better world, a universal practice that brings positivity and light and connection to the world. But no, Kvell is my own enterprise.
As someone who is not Barbara Edelston-Peterson, I see Kvell and the whole series, meaning the book series and the foundation, they're all of a piece, which suggests that you're a wholly integrated person, even if they're different efforts. They're like different flavors, but they're both ice cream.
I get it. And I'm receiving. I'm fully, and again, more chills. I really actually could cry because this was an important epiphany. Really, it's the moment to self-Kvell.
Sure.
Because I am proud of myself for coming to that realization. I didn't turn on a dime, but it was like, how fast can I change? Because I'm really ashamed of being this self-centered. It was like, again, like a tidal wave. Like suddenly a tidal wave just came over me and I was so ashamed inside 1 minute.
And you're in the wheelchair.
I'm in the wheelchair. I'm all by myself. Tears are running down my face. And it was a very beautiful moment.
So cut to how long was it from that instant to the decision to do something about it? And how long was it mostly thinking in between, or was it list making? Was it journaling?
So great questions. It took some time, just like the Kvell book. I was like, well, what am I going to do? So I had to figure out the name. And to this day, I really regret saying Whole Champion Foundation because it connotes that I have money and it's something, and
you can change the name.
I know, but now it's almost like I am a foundation in that, or not, the nonprofit is a foundation in that I've raised enough money and we're partnering with other organizations that align, and all the books I basically provide to schools and workbooks free. My speaking, I'm never paid for anything. So it's almost like we're gifting schools and teams and organizations with this message that's about awareness, responsibility, and action for a better world. But in the meantime, I decided Whole Champion Foundation, and I had to go through the logistics of becoming an organization, and I raised, and I did, and because I was doing it all by myself and I wanted to do it quickly and I had no clue what I was doing, it became an LLC, and I got my first check
Mm.
for a lot.
Oh, great.
A lot. Yeah, I had to pay taxes on it because it wasn't a nonprofit. So in 2009, that was like in 2016, I started writing the books and developing. And one of my friends, we'd have these meetings because I had like an advisory board. Like, what do I do with this? And where should I go? And there was this one swimmer friend who said, I think what it all boils down to, Barbara, is a whole person makes the whole world better.
Oh,
that's where I got that.
That's
and
beautiful.
That really spoke to me. And that's the title. And in 2019, I was at Rancho La Puerta in Mexico, and a phone call came in, and, you can't use your cell phones or anything. And I just knew it was the nonprofit, like the IRS. And so I answered it, and I snuck into like the bathroom or something. And they said, we approved your application. You're a qualified nonprofit.
Great.
Yeah. So that was 2019. And then here we are, 2026.
Amazing.
And schools and teams and films and books and...
All right. So where can people find out about Barbara Edelston-Peterson, and where can people find out about the whole Champion Foundation?
So BarbaraEdelstonPeterson.com is a website.
Peterson, S-O-N.
Yes.
And Edelston.
Edelston, S-T-O-N. So Barbara Edelston-Peterson. If you could see how I spell this on the phone 8 times a day. So there's that website. WholeChampion.org is the nonprofit. Everywhere on social media.
Okay.
So LinkedIn, YouTube,
And they
Instagram.
can find it via your name.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
I could really go on for another several hours with you, but I want to be respectful of your time. I often like to end with a blessing. So I'm going to offer you a bracha, a blessing. My bracha to you is that you continue to bring this sense of wholeness of who Barbara Edelston-Peterson is in the world to your whole life. And in so doing, you allow yourself and everyone around you to continue to kvell about how amazing you and your accomplishments are.
Oh, thank you so much.
It's my pleasure. What a great conversation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for listening. Special thanks to Barbara for joining me, to Devin Schwartz for his help in producing this episode, to E-Rose for his help producing the song in this episode, to Jessica Chana Swedler for her help on social media, to Liat Silvera for designing the podcast logo, and let me kvell for a moment about my friend Liat for a moment. Out of 250,000 artists, Liat won first prize in this round of the Johnny Depp People's Artist Competition. Check her and her website out at liatsilvera.com. That's LeATSilvera.com. And of course, thanks to my wife, Shari. Maya looks like her mom too, but most important, Maya is just like Shari in so many ways. You can find Black and White Photo and all of the other songs in this song cycle on most platforms that stream or download music, including Spotify, Apple, and YouTube. And again, for the shameless self-promotion, it really helps if you share the episodes and songs, and if you like, comment, and subscribe, both to the podcast and to me as an artist on your favorite platforms. In the next episode of The Rest is Commentary, I'll be talking with Amy Guterson, an American Orthodox Jewish actress, filmmaker, educator, playwright, co-founder of the Jewish women's theater collective Kol Isha, and founder of the Tzohar Seminary, a gap-year program combining Hasidus and intensive arts training that's now in its 15th year. Amy and I discuss embracing mystery to unlock exploration and resilience, holding opposites like chaos and order, the transformative power of spirituality as a lived experience, light and darkness as a growth paradigm, understanding ourselves as vessels of divine energy and humble service, jazz and improvisation as exemplifiers of embracing the unknown, and so much more, all inspired by Amy's thoughts after listening to Stay. Please join us.